Now, 43% of SMBs, Ash, are struggling to find skilled labor, right?
Of a specific technical skill. It could be a staff member that you require.
Ash, how do you see, how does Godspeed Group's extensive branch network?
If you're playing the game, opportunities come by, and then you go. Next thing you know, Nokia started as a rubber company and ended up selling cell phones.
The future of staffing is here, and Godspeed Group is leading the way. Hi, I'm Kripa Anand, and welcome to Canadian SME Small Business Podcast, where we empower Canadian entrepreneurs with valuable insights to grow and thrive. In today's episode, we're diving into the world of staffing solutions, a critical aspect of running a successful business, and exploring how tailored workforce strategies can address industry specific challenges. According to CFIB, 64% of Canadian small businesses report difficulty finding skilled workers, with staffing being one of their top operational challenges. This is where innovative solutions like those offered by Godspeed Group become game changers. Joining us today is Ash Tandon, Chief Executive Officer and co founder of Godspeed Group, a leading provider of comprehensive staffing solutions across Canada. With a career that began at globally recognized companies like IBM and American Express, Ash brought his expertise to the entrepreneurial space, creating a company that fits critical gaps in the recruitment process. This conversation is packed with insights on how small businesses can leverage tailored staffing solutions to overcome workforce challenges and drive growth. Let's dive in. Ash, welcome to the podcast. How are
Thanks
you
so much.
doing today?
I'm doing very well. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Great. I'm very excited for the conversation today. It's a very interesting topic, and a lot of small business owners they often struggle to find the right people for their company. Right? We're going to cover all the things.
Sure.
Let's do a little warm up by discussing how Godspeed Group's comprehensive staffing services are making a difference in the industry. Now, 43% of SMBs, Ash, are struggling to find skilled labor, right?
Yep.
Godspeed Group's solutions directly address these needs,
100%.
right? So please tell us more about the comprehensive staffing services you guys offer and how do they benefit exactly the SMBs?
So, when we talk about staffing solutions, what we think of is that it is actually a contingent workforce.
Mhm.
It is also to be able to find a tailored need of a specific technical skill. It could be a staff member that you require.
Mhm.
An SME might be looking for a specific skill that they may not be able to get. So at Godspeed Group, we actually have an internal team of, let's say, 45 recruiters. We are able to go ahead and actually qualify first the customer and actually understand what exactly are they looking for
Mhm.
before they go out and say, Ash, I need a, let's say, like an accounting manager. But then we break it down and further say, do you really need that? What are the kind of skills? What kind of payroll you have to offer?
Mhm.
What are the job descriptions? We'll go and understand, create that for them, and then go out to the job pool and source the right candidate for them. So we're able to do that, like I said, because we have the recruiters, we have the in-house pools, and we have the in-house expertise now. And we've been doing this for the last 10 years. So that really helps as well.
Great, you guys are doing an amazing work, and the things that you're offering are robust. Now, your ability to cater to diverse roles, right? Understanding the nitty gritties and understanding the nuances behind
Mhm.
what you're doing and why you're doing
Yep.
really stands out.
Sure.
Now, let's discuss how Godspeed Group goes beyond standard staffing
Yep.
to understand, and address the customer needs from the bottom of their hearts.
Absolutely. Like, it is not about just a solution selling, because when a company is looking for any resource of any kind, it's not as easy as just simply going on LinkedIn or Indeed and posting an ad.
Yeah.
Where we come in and say, and I always tell my customer, listen, if you're going to bring in a locksmith and he's going to give you a bunch of 10 different keys and say, try your luck,
Hmm.
and then you're just trying and trying, you're actually wasting your valuable resources, because a company might be specializing in software or manufacturing or whatever the core skills are. But calling us is like exactly calling a locksmith, and it's outsourcing it to us and saying, hey, this is the associate, this is the kind of a labor that I'm looking for.
Right.
These are the must-have technical skills.
Right.
This is the kind of attitude that they may have.
Mhm.
And then we will internally, like I was saying earlier, we'll screen them, we'll interview them, and then we present the right candidate.
Mhm.
And if the candidate is a good fit, great, we'll take the feedback. If the candidate is not a great fit, then we have learned something from the customer. Then we go back and then do a better job. And then it's like a refinement process until the customer is not finally happy and fully satisfied.
It's a trial and error method.
It is a
right?
trial and error method. Sometimes, obviously, as a company, it's for profit, we want to get lucky in the first time, but then again, it's not always the case. So
Right.
we are always there for the customers. Think of us as like an outsourced HR person,
Right.
right?
Exactly.
But we only get paid if we do a great job. And we want to make sure that we always do a great job because we do not like to miss.
Right. So before a company is able to find that perfect match,
Yep.
you guys do it unlimited times.
100%. 100%. You have to be able to go back to the customer and say, will this work? Take a feedback. Will this work? Will this work? Because ultimately, the employee or the candidate is going to be a customer's employee. So we will be handing off over to him.
Right.
So are you happy with my final offering? Yes, it is. So be it.
Great. On top of your mind, Ash, could you share an example of how tailored solutions have made a significant impact for any small or medium business?
I mean, I'll give you an example where, if you think about it, like when you look at small startups or you look at small medium enterprises, right? They are somewhat handicapped because, again, like I was saying, they're handicapped because they get overlooked by the candidate themselves. They may be offering the same job, they may be offering the same perks, they may be offering a hybrid role. If not, there will be more than accommodating than a larger organization. But what happens is that if someone is looking for a technical writer or anything for that matter,
Right.
by virtue of the fact that they will the candidate themselves will apply towards the IBMs and like you said, American Express or larger stable organizations because they think of it as a job security. They will completely overlook it. They will say, yeah, I don't, but they're relatively new.
Right.
They'll check them up on LinkedIn. They may have 3 or 4 or 5 employees. They might not be the right fit.
Right.
But essentially, they might think that they're actually passing on a great opportunity. So where we come in is that, listen, we'll go to the employees and we go to the owners, the CEOs, and listen, I know you want the right skill. I know you look in the market. Let us go in and fetch you those diamonds out in the coal mine because at the end of the day, we have to source the right candidate. So
Right.
we'll educate the person. We'll bring in and say, listen, this company is far more accommodating. Come in, spend your time, give us your valuable skills, and then you guys can grow together. So that's what we do.
Wow. So basically, you make life easier for everyone.
100,
Right?
absolutely.
Great.
I would like to say like I'm like a matchmaker
Exactly.
That's
For
exact-
businesses.
for businesses, exactly.
Now, tailored solutions, they are critical, but so is accessibility, right?
Yep.
Let's take a short break right here. When we return, we'll dive into Ash's entrepreneurial journey and learn how his experience have shaped the vision behind Godspeed Group.
Hey, you think you know UPS? Yeah, that's us. Everybody knows that. You know what you didn't know? This. Okay, try to keep up. Ocean, us. Ground, rail, air, so us. Guess who? Us. Customs cleared, borders cleared, done. Us. Still with me? Wait for it. Boom. Us. Intelligent, automated, fulfillment. Us. Yep, healthcare too. Digital your thing? Yeah, well, book it, ship it, track it. You feeling me yet? Yep, that's all us. That's all UPS.
At IHG Hotels and Resorts, we're in the business of you.
We're here to help you plug in.
Connect and recharge.
Make an impression.
And meet with confidence.
With 19 brands built for business,
your business gets even more rewarding.
With an award-winning loyalty program at 6,000 IHG hotels and resorts worldwide.
Welcome back, listeners. Now, let's hear about Ash's inspiring journey and the vision that drives his company. Now, let's explore how Godspeed Group's branch network supports businesses across Canada. Now, Canada is home to over 1.2 million small businesses, right?
Okay.
Spread across diverse regions with
100%.
unique labor demands.
Yes.
Now, access to localized staffing support can be a significant advantage.
Yep.
Ash, how do you see, how does Godspeed Group's extensive branch network across Canada help small businesses address their staffing needs effectively?
Okay. Well, for the last 10 years, we have grown. And we have actually grown because of the feedback of the customer that we have. It's just the trust that the customers is in place with us.
Mm-hmm.
We obviously started in Etobicoke. Etobicoke became Toronto. Then we have 7 offices across Canada. And as a matter of fact, we recently opened up an office in Michigan. The key ingredient, the key success is having boots on the ground, having local recruiters. Because if you might think that GTA is large, but if a small business enterprise or any customer for that matter requires any labor pool, I'm not going to be bringing in somebody from Scarborough to come work in Etobicoke.
Right.
It's going to be a revolving door situation. The customer's not going to be happy. Like you were talking about snow days, the guy's not going to come into work.
Right.
So we make sure the recruiters are local. They have a local database. They're constantly hiring, constantly reviewing, constantly screening, and ensuring that they actually have an active pool of people who are serving, living in the same community, wanting to go to work every day. Because there are policies, there's procedures, because the customer wants stability.
Right.
They want that person to show up every day. And we promise that by having local resources, local recruiters, having those databases, and then basically showcasing what we have to offer.
Wow, your nationwide approach is pretty incredible.
Thank you.
One question that sprouts in my mind
Please.
right now is that, so you guarantee satisfaction from the employer side.
Absolutely.
What about the employee side? The employee, when they're getting placed at a company,
Great question.
it's very important for the employee to be at a place where he or she feels comfortable as well.
100%.
And maybe the company is or is not able to fulfill that.
100%.
Is this something that you do to make sure that even the employee that you are placing is satisfied from the job?
That's a great question. We will only make money if my associate is also happy. Because at the end of the day, the associate has to go in, show up, and do the job.
Right.
Then only once he gets in, and then obviously we'll get the hours and so forth. So in this case, what we do is we actually have a follow-up mechanism. Because, I have a saying in my business, no news is good news. That means if I deployed a resource and I haven't heard anything back from the customer, that means no news is good news. The associate hasn't complained, no news is good news. So what we still do is on Tuesday, my team will still call the associates. Is everything okay? Is this something that what we promised? Because we also want to make sure that they're in a safe work environment.
Exactly.
As well. They're not going to get exploited.
Right.
They are going to get paid on time. They're going to get their lunch break. And these are small little things. That there is equality everywhere that they go. And they can speak their concerns. They're not feeling that, because I'm coming through an agency, I have been given a work which is 2x, whereas the full-time employees are just sitting there enjoying. So we want to make sure that they're happy too.
Right.
So we are there for them too. So come Tuesday and then come on Friday, there's a mandatory system. A call will be placed out for at least 2 weeks to ensure, are you happy? If you're happy, then we back off. Then we make sure, okay, now the match has been made. The customer is happily sending us the hours and things are doing well.
Right.
So we definitely do that as well. Because again, if they're not happy, guess what? Now I have to deploy more resources to find another candidate and then another candidate.
Right.
So that
The
feedback
entire
mechanism
cycle gets broken.
Absolutely.
Right.
I will make the most money if the same associate goes to the work every single day. Because then I'm just sitting back and collecting my money.
I absolutely love how you
That's how it
picture
is.
this entire thing.
I'm just laying it out straight, honest God's honest truth. That's exactly what it is. So we got to, so basically, like I was saying, I have to make sure we do our job right from the get-go.
Right.
From the customer, the more qualified questions I've asked, the better I can sell that as an opportunity to the candidate.
Right.
The more informed the candidate is, the better fit it will be.
Wow. Whatever you're saying, it's like, you're making lives easier for everyone. And definitely you are. And I'd like to add that this is a very well thought out structure as well. And it is a lot of emotion in it, a lot of connection with it. In a world of AI, human connection is, it's getting lost.
Yep.
But what you guys are doing, it's maintaining that at some level.
Sure, to tell you the truth, whether it's AI or advancement of any technology for that matter, you can only use them as a supplement.
Right.
At the end of the day, if I'm sitting here giving this podcast, it's not because how great I am. At the end of the day, it was me out there cold calling, building those connections, building and asking for that business. That was me personally doing that. And then, like I was saying, better job I've done asking, the better job will be my result.
Right.
So, and the customer will they'll definitely give you a second chance, and then they'll become the repeat customer. Then that gives you confidence internally. If I can do this for them, I can do it for more customers. That's what it is.
You mentioned something about reaching out personally to get business, right?
Absolutely.
Now, hold that thought. Let's expand on it more because I'm very interested to know, is this something that you always wanted to do? Finding the right talent doesn't have to be a challenge. With Godspeed Group's extensive branch network and personalized staffing solutions, small businesses can access skilled workers across Canada to grow with confidence. Now, your journey from working for global giants like IBM and American Express to co-founding Godspeed Group, it's truly inspiring, right?
Yep.
Many of our listeners will, relate to the challenges of transitioning into entrepreneurship.
Sure.
Now, what inspired you to start Godspeed Group, and how has your background shaped your vision for the company?
So at the end of the day, I came here as a student. Yes, you talk about American Express. Yes, you talk about IBM. Those were all my experiences from back home.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when I came here in 2008, the Canadian experience was something very big. I don't get to see that. And I'm from the industry now, and I've been doing this for 10 years. We don't get to hear that more often, that you don't have a Canadian experience. I remember, I can give you city here examples of the job opportunities I've lost because it didn't, even though I spoke the language. At American Express, I came and went for a job interview, and they didn't hire me because I didn't have the Canadian experience.
Oh.
Though the product was the same, my skill set was the same, but
they needed that stamp.
But they needed that you were not from, that you had the Canadian background. And I understand, and I understood it, so be it. In my time being that I've been in Canada, or till the time since I started the company, I have done whatever needed to be done. I have cleaned washrooms. I have done waiters. I have delivered newspapers for 5 cents. I did what was needed to be done, right? And at the end of the day, that what transformed me and gave me the resilience, the grit, the desire that if I'm not going to do it, nobody's going to do it for me.
Wow.
Right? In my heart of my heart, working with American Express, I was a sales guy. I was a sales manager there. So sales was obviously always in me.
Yeah.
So when the need struck, and I had to drive a little G-class truck, I was still going around collecting business cards because I wasn't quite ready to sell anything. But every opportunity I got or any customer location I went to, hi, my name is Ash. Can you please give me the business card of yours? Because when I am ready, then I will come back.
Wow.
And God's honest truth, the first customer I got, I think my phone is littered with pictures of for hiring signs, for billboard signs, anything that I see where I see that this could be a customer of mine, I see dollar signs there. I see as an opportunity. I would say, today God is so kind, we have 11 salespeople.
Wow.
But at the heart of it, cold calling, cold visits is the core basic of getting the business. Hi, my name is Ash. Can you please give me one opportunity? You have to ask. If you don't ask, you can ask your way out.
Right.
You can ask for money, you can ask for business, you can ask for help. But if you don't ask, nobody's coming out to save you. You have to do it as if your life depends on it.
Right.
And lastly, it came to me very quickly that, if 10 people are calling me looking for work, and if I was able to deploy all these 10 people, and I remember when I was working out of my basement, how much money I can make. So there was a desire to now wanting to help people as well, because many people who are coming in were quite not ready to have to work in the job because the resumes was all messed up.
Right.
They was full of spelling mistakes. I knew if they went in like this, they were never going to be.
There was no chance of.
There's no chance whatsoever.
Right.
Sometimes you just need to sit them down and say, buddy, can you make sure your shoes? You're going in a warehouse environment.
Right.
You can't wear sneakers in. Just dress right. Put like a safety vest on.
Exactly.
Just go in with a safety vest. It is your impression will matter. They will call you back in. Out of the hundreds of applicants, they might just give you an extra shift. And then suddenly, the more work that you're doing, the more learning that you're showing, they'll just keep calling you. And next thing you know, you have a dedicated full-time job. Because nothing is permanent. You do need to work.
Right.
So that's how you do it. And that's how it started. If I can help 10, let's help the 100. Now let's help 1,000. So that's how it started.
Wow, just like a true entrepreneurial mindset.
Pretty much.
But did you always wanted to know that, oh, you wanted to get into business? Or is it something that, just happened along the way in your journey?
I would say that no, I always wanted to do something for my own, but I also don't buy the notion when people come back and tell me, especially younger people. I'm not saying that I'm very old, but I come across many, many people now. They'll look up to me and say, you know what, I don't want to work for anyone but for myself. I don't want to spend my time wasting and being told to do what to do. But the truth is that you don't learn.
Right.
If you don't go through the tunnel, if you don't understand through the process, nobody's going to bet money on you.
Right.
As an entrepreneur, most important thing is someone, whether it's a customer, it has to be a customer because you can't bet on your family's money. The third entity has to bet money on you. Say, you know what, I'll give you one opportunity. Let me see what you can do.
Right.
And that only comes from experience and time by going through the journey yourself, because it hones you into a better person.
Right.
It teaches you what to do, what not to do.
Right.
And then again, you will get hit. I can sit here and you can talk all great things about me, but quite honestly, I've lost $700,000-$800,000. But that's been a learning process.
Right.
Because then you get to realize when to pull the guns and when not to pull the gun, right? When to walk away, when not to walk away. That all comes from learning too.
Right. That's a very resilient way of putting
100%.
it together. Now, if I may ask, why the name Godspeed? Because when when I first read the name of the company,
Absolutely.
Frank Ocean's song, it played in my mind.
Yeah.
Is that the reason?
No, that's not the reason, no.
Okay.
So I went to university in England.
Okay.
So, colonial architecture, like what we have back home.
Right.
So they're obviously England, colonial architecture, a lot of that. So at my university, they had the word Godspeed inscribed on the wall. I mean, I'm not a super religious person that actually show up at the temple. I don't do all that, but I do feel that there is a higher power, higher entity out
Definitely
there.
there
Someone's
is,
you
yeah.
got to answer to, so to speak, right? So the word obviously stuck by me to the point that I don't have no tattoos, but I also thought that maybe one day I'll even get a tattoo that says Godspeed on it, right? So 2015, when I got into trucking, and I was driving a truck, I didn't have enough money. So I opened up a numbered company because this is the cheapest way of opening up a company. But when time came in, they said, well, you know what, you need to have a name. So trucking, speed, efficiency, and Godspeed literally means good luck. It's an old Latin word. It means good luck before you're going on a journey.
Right.
So trucking, logistics, you're going on a journey, you need all the good
Wow,
luck.
you resonated.
It
all the
resonated
time.
so well. And I wanted to be very abstract. Didn't want it to be a typical name that so-and-so corporated,
Right.
so-and-so.
It's a very creative and unique name. It stands out.
100%.
Right.
And I wanted people to ask me. That means my marketing is done right.
Definitely.
It will
has.
stick.
Yes.
That's right.
I don't want this conversation to end, and trust me.
No, please, that's fine.
But because of time constraints,
That's fine.
we'll have to cut it short.
No worries.
Before we wrap up,
Please.
Ash, let's talk about the future of staffing
Sure.
and how Godspeed Group is, evolving to meet the changing needs of Canadian small businesses.
Absolutely.
Now, the staffing industry is evolving rapidly, right, with trends like automation and digital platforms changing how businesses find their talent.
Yeah.
Now, however, with all that said, human touch is still critical.
Absolutely.
Ash, how do you see the future of staffing evolving, and what role does Godspeed Group play in addressing the changing need for SMEs?
Sitting here to tell you that the AI and the automation
Yeah.
is not going to impact my business would be foolish. I see it firsthand at my customers' locations when I go into warehouses, when I go into distribution centers, where I see that where I was originally sending, or I'm still having 50 associates going, but the workload itself has not doubled, quadrupled. But I'm only still sending same number of associates because of technology has now come in.
Right.
Small businesses will actually be advantageous, I feel, that because they'll look, quality is always the technology is eventually, the adoption of technology is going to be slightly cheaper as more and more automation comes in. So your reliance on your entry-level workforce force is actually going to go down.
Right.
And I'm saying 10 years from now, right? What's going to happen is that even though the entry-level workforce will go down, however, your specific niche technical skills will still be required.
Yes.
Somebody is going to go there to manage the robot. Someone has to go out and program the needs. Someone has to go and understand what needs to be done, then deploy those resources, then manage those resources. But entry level, for sure, it will be impacted. How we are doing it so is that we are obviously embracing it. We are seeing the trends. Within our company have dedicated a large amount of money to see how we can use AI to better understand and predict what my customer needs are going to be. How I can automate many of our resources internally. We are just shy of 100 people internally.
Okay.
How we can be more cost advantageous because listen, my whole thing has always been I don't have to take all the money from my customer. If I leave some money on my customer's table, they will allow me to come back the next month and next month to keep taking some of their money.
Right.
So I always have to be competitive too.
Right.
The landscape is changing, but I feel that there will be more opportunities coming out of that. We just have to be there and we have to stay in the game. I can't panic and hit a panic button and say, I'm out. Can't do that.
Right.
I'm heavily invested in it.
Right.
And so, yeah, when you start something, you don't realize of what your fate and destiny will turn it into.
Right.
If you're playing the game, opportunities come by, and then you go. Next thing you know, Nokia started as a rubber company, ended up selling cell phones.
Right.
I started as a trucking company, went into logistics. From logistics, went into staffing, and now God's been kind of completed 2 acquisitions.
Right.
So, as long as I'm in it, I will win.
Wow, I agree. I think going with the flow is the best thing that you can do
Indeed.
yourself.
Indeed.
It's exciting to see how Godspeed Group is staying ahead of the curve while maintaining a strong focus on building relationships and delivering value. The future of staffing is here, and Godspeed Group is leading the way. With innovative solutions and a commitment to personalized service, they're empowering Canadian small businesses to thrive in a competitive landscape. Now, as we come to the last segment of this podcast, Ash, what's that one piece of advice you'd like to leave with small business owners who are struggling to find, and if they find, struggling to retain the right talent in today's competitive market?
That's another great question. For that, I would say, and it's not just for the customers, so it's not just for my customers, and to also to what small medium enterprises as well. I think the biggest thing that they want to be looking for is attitude. It is I would say, the values that they're interviewing, because when they're small, what they're looking for is, I'll give you a small example. One of the girls that we originally hired when we were much, much smaller, we didn't just hire her to do accounting. She was my accounting, she was my dispatcher, she was taking my customer service calls, she was doing everything. As we grew, her role grew. As her role grew, now she has a designated job. When you're bringing on anybody new, when you yourself is new, and as an entrepreneur, I mean, you're doing everything on your own. The employees have to feel the same passions, feel the same value. They cannot come up and say, in my job description, it said that there are 10 points and I'm only going to be sticking to those 10 points. They have to be malleable. They have to be willing to go the extra mile, because initially, those are the people who are actually building the foundational blocks of the organization. They cannot mentally check out and say, oh, yep, it's 5 p.m., I'm going home. And I'm not saying that work the long hours, but maintain the work-life balance. But what needs to be done has to be done. It doesn't matter if it's 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. or 8 p.m. You got to value your employees as well, because they feel that the oneness has to be there from the management side and the employee side. Then only they will be willing to stay back, because let's be honest, they're not there for money, because any organization will give them the money. They're not there for the designation. They're just there, that bond has to be there.
Right.
They're there because they feel valued, they feel special, they feel like, you know what, whatever contribution that I'm bringing on today, tomorrow, it will be appreciated. And I think that's one of the key things that you should be looking for.
I think I can just listen to you for hours. This is one of the best articulated answers that I've ever listened to, or anyone. There's so many people who have, sat on this chair, but this is the most well articulated and structured answer, I'd say, because on a personal level, it might be, I'm a little biased as well, because I also completely 100% agree with whatever you said. So thank you so much, Ash, for sharing your expertise. It's a pleasure to have you here, and I hope we can do this again sometime.
Absolutely, Well. Thank you for having me. Thank you so very much.
All right. Thank you so much, Ash Tandon, for joining us today and providing such valuable insights into staffing solutions for small businesses. Today's key takeaways. Number 1, Godspeed Group's comprehensive staffing services make hiring simpler for SMEs. Number 2, tailored workforce solutions address unique business challenges across industries. Number 3, a strong branch network ensures localized support for businesses nationwide. Ash's entrepreneurial journey highlights the importance of leveraging experience to solve real world problems. The future of staffing is about blending innovation with personalized services. A special thank you to our podcast partners, RBC, UPS, IHG Hotels and Resorts, and Google for supporting this podcast and making this possible. We hope that you find today's episode valuable. This is Kripa Anand signing off.